as an HR leader, I think the last 2-3 years, we've undergone so many changes that would have probably taken us a decade to undergo. The pandemic accelerated all those changes, but the pace at which these changes happen is not quite, it's been too quick, too fast. I think to sustain the good things from that came from the pandemic and to ensure that we have a viable way of working and adapt and change over a period of time is going to be the biggest challenge as a HR leader for all the entire HR fraternity. Oh, plenty of them. Gig working, everybody is talking about it. I think the psychological contract between what an employee and an employer had or has even today is going to undergo a lot of changes. We will see employees, I mean, moonlighting or no moonlighting, the way employees work today, they will work at their time, of their choice, and the way they want to work. Your place of work, the way you work, whom you report to, these will undergo a lot of changes. And I see these trends having to change because that would mean managers and leaders also having to change quickly to adapt to the new generation of workforce. And it's not just Gen Z which is going to come in. We're going to have multi-generational workforce who are going to be conflicting with each other, and therefore it's important to adjust and understand the new paradigm that HR would foresee in the near future. I think any progressive organization or any people focused organization will start focusing on upskilling and L&D, primarily because nobody likes the whole, today you see hear so much about layoffs. We don't want the workforce that work with the company, because it's not just what you know, it's also about adjusting with the organization, being emotionally connected with the organization. So every organization that invests in upskilling and L&D is are the ones who are going to see the future. I mean, big brands that have survived because they've taken care of their employees. We are also going to see a lot of upskilling initiatives coming, not just from the employer led initiatives, also by employees themselves who would want to upskill themselves and expect the employer to support that initiative. It could mean sabbaticals, it could mean different ways in which they would upskill themselves. Diversity and inclusion is a part of the DNA of Mashreq. And I'm not saying this because every organization has its DNA targets. Over here, every role is looked upon for gender diversity. We're very upbeat about working for people with determination, because we want all kinds of people to work with the organization. And in our case, we have a distributed workforce, which means work from anywhere. So we also want to make sure that our workforce isn't just the tier 1, tier 2 cities from where we pick up people, but across different strata, different social strata of people. Gender diversity is our main focus. Diversity and inclusion forms the basic DNA of our operating principles at Mashreq. And I'm not saying this based on just gender diversity initiatives that we do. Every position is looked upon to see how better we can look at gender diversity, or look at hiring people with determination, in thought as well as in spirit. We are committed to a very diverse organization which is across the countries, looking up latent talent which is present in other cities who would otherwise have not got the opportunity but can do the work. So it's a varied slate that we are looking at. And in India, we have a very steep target of achieving our gender diversity. Needless to say that we are working towards it and are trying to achieve a 50% diversity, which is a very tall order, by 2024. It forms a part of our DNA. So a lot of policies and activities that are currently being looked upon, programs that we're going to conduct, is going to be based on DNI principles. From a HR initiative perspective, we have been looking at and will continue to look at getting latent talent from different parts of not just India but wherever Mashreq Global Network has its presence in. And this is because we believe in a distributed workforce. We're not into remote working, hybrid working for a short period of time. This is something that we are committed to over a long period of time, and have a distributed workforce, and we measure how distributed our workforce is even at this point in time. So we believe we have a competitive advantage here because we want to tap that latent talent which is present in a tier 2 city or a tier 3 city, who would have otherwise not been employed, and are able to kind of offer their talent to us, and we are very continuously focusing on hiring that talent. That's one of the biggest HR initiatives that differentiates Mashreq from its competitors. And needless to say, that's giving us a competitive advantage.